This Good Morning Northwest morning sprint is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's now 6:53. Time to get you ready for your Monday here in the morning sprint.
Mark Peterson following rain to start your work week. Olivia Roberts is looking back on the 40th anniversary of the Mount St. Helens eruption.
And Destiny Richards is live at 9 Mile Falls Elementary School with a way to get your kids reading while at home. But first, the latest coronavirus information impacting your family. In Idaho, 73 people have died from COVID-19. 65 people have tested positive in Kootenai County, but no one has died from the virus there. Idaho health officials say testing is still lacking statewide. Here in Washington, 1,000 people have died across the state. In Spokane County, 5 more people have tested positive for the virus, bringing the total to 403.
Gold balloons lined the streets of Coeur d'Alene this weekend, a celebratory sign marking Idaho's first day in the transition to phase 2 of Governor Little's plan to reopen the state. In this phase, restaurants are once again offering dine-in services in a limited capacity, but that experience looks a little different with new safety guidelines in place. Here at Seasons, you'll be seated at a safe distance from other tables. Your server will wear a mask and gloves. If you are waiting to be seated, but there's no tables available, you'll have to wait outside. They also say tables, menus, and high-touch areas will be sanitized around the clock. Seasons isn't the only restaurant making changes. You can find details on KXLY.com.
President Trump is hosting a roundtable with restaurant industry officials today to discuss the impact of the coronavirus. A source familiar with the meeting says chefs and executives are among those expected to attend. The Independent Restaurant Coalition is expected to be represented at that meeting and is expected to bring up its concerns about the Paycheck Protection Program.
All right, there's areas of dense fog in our first alert weather, and it really centers around Spokane west on Highway 2, getting into the Davenport-Reardon area, also to the north. And it's sort of been moving it around, so take care. 24-hour forecast. It's all going to be about variable clouds around the noon hour. We're going to see increased rain showers for Spokane and again tomorrow morning.
40 years ago today, Mount St. Helens unleashed the most devastating eruption in our country's history. The event killed 57 people and did more than $1 billion worth of damage. Before the eruption, Mount St. Helens was the 5th highest peak in Washington state after its status dropped to 30th. Some trailheads and day-use areas in the forest will be open today, but COVID-19 restrictions have shut down several popular visitor sites like the Johnstone Observatory and Spirit Lake Highway. State Emergency Management weighed in on the event last week, suggesting a parallel to the eruption and the shutdowns. In a tweet, the department said 40 years ago, people rushed the state to reopen areas around Mount St. Helens, citing tourism and the economy against advice of scientists. Days later, the volcano erupted.
A video showing 2 snowbird jets, which are part of the Canadian Armed Forces, taking off Sunday moments before a fatal crash. The flight is part of a national campaign to boost morale across Canada during the COVID-19 crisis. The snowbirds were in the middle of crossing the country doing flyovers in British Columbia when they crashed. Captain Jennifer Casey died in the crash. The former journalist joined the snowbirds in November 2018.
Washington Governor Jay Inslee's proclamation, which does not allow elective surgeries, expires today. This means dental offices can open tomorrow. When they open, non-elective surgeries and services like routine cleanings can resume. Even though offices can get back to work, it is still up to the dentist to decide how they'll do so. There are a number of safety guidelines that will be in place. Offices won't open if the governor's proclamation is extended. Unfortunately, some problems with Destiny's audio there. Coming up next on Good Morning America, Greece is moving ahead with a groundbreaking plan to cautiously reopen the country to tourists. The country has fewer than 3,000 coronavirus cases and fewer than 200 deaths.
So you get straight off the plane here in Athens, you line up, you have to fill out a form, and then everybody on that plane has a mouth swab.
A big part of the success has been available testing for every single person arriving since March.
And here at home, the Spokane Arena looks a little bit different, more different than you have seen probably. That's because there's a homeless shelter inside. This temporary move comes as the city tries to prevent COVID-19 from spreading among the homeless community. We'll be right back.